The next song you record could be the one that breaks you. You never know what's the song that's going to get you in to the music business, break you into the level you want to be at. You don't know what people are going to associate with. You never do. Nobody does. Even the people who think they may have something great, they never really know what it's going to turn out to be. This is why you should look at every single thing you do as something that matters, something that should not be left on the back burner, should not be left to whenever I get around to it, to whenever I can connect back in with some stream of consciousness. You should make yourself work on it, because in doing that, you will come up with ways to get it done. I'm not saying force it done. What I'm saying is it could be great. Don't always look for that thing that you need to do to change it, to make it great, to then be done. It's probably done already. It could very well be. Let me show you Chris Shaw, who engineered, mixed the Blue Album, and he did stuff for Bob Dylan, Public Enemy, Tribe Called Quest. The dude has done a ton of stuff, okay? Let me just show you him talking about the Blue Album. Fair use for teaching purposes.
And next thing I know, the band flew out to New York, and we rehearsed with them for a couple of days, and we recorded those rehearsals, and we made the record. Nobody knew how big that record was going to be. I don't think I had a sense of how big that record would be until we were in the mixing stage, and we used to leave the door open a crack in the control room, and there's a receptionist down the hall. And at the end of the night, I was walking at the door, and the receptionist was like singing the songs to herself. She was like singing Buddy Holly, to herself. Right. I was like, this thing might have legs. Right. And even the guys in the band were like, oh yeah, we'll sell 15,000, and the label's going to drop us. And, and that's actually what happened. They sold 15,000 or so, and then they released the second video for Buddy Holly, and that was it. They just blew up, and it was huge. So, and the reason why I got the Sweet Liz Il Tet gig, which got me the Rick Ocasek gig, is because Il Tet loved me because I'd worked at Public Enemy. So again, this is this line that always goes back to it. I mean, I try not to talk about it too much because I don't want Chuck D calling me up and asking for a profit share or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't know the Blue Album was going to be amazing, but they didn't hold it. They didn't wait. They made sure they put that thing out and got it done. This is the benefit of working with people outside of just yourself, because they will push you to make things done. They will help get it done. They facilitate the A to B to C to done. That's what they're doing. So by working with yourself, if you don't impose deadlines, if you don't impose things on yourself that make you get things done, then things just sit. They just sit and get stale. That's what happens. And then you try to redo things 100 times and you're never happy. It's just something everybody goes through. Don't let yourself fall into that trap. Something I love about the Blue Album is talk about a couple things. One, the guitars drive that thing. They're like a thunderstorm. And the reason I found interesting was that Rivers Cuomo loved the way the guitars sounded on Creep by Radiohead. And if you've heard that song, they come in louder than you expect, bigger than you think, and they make that song what it is, in my opinion, because it's the guitars, no question, drive that song. And if you listen to the Weezer Blue Album, I'm a guitarist, and I never really put this together, but that's why I'm so in love with that album, because the guitars drive that entire album. They drive it, and he's using feedback tricks and different things to add excitement right before it drops and to bring you in with these like that sort of that the way it sounds is amazing. And the way they got feedback is some way I've been doing in the studio for years. You basically take your guitar amp, put it in the ISO booth or live room, just somewhere outside of your room. If you're just working in a bedroom, even you could put it in a closet. Like there's just a number of ways to do this. Crank the amp so that you have your monitors that don't hear your amp cranked. That's the thing here. You need to be able to crank the amp, and then you want to put your guitar up to the monitor in your room with your speakers that you're listening back on, your control room speakers, not the amp. You want to put your guitar up to the monitor while the amp's cranked in another room and being mic'd up. That will allow you to control the feedback because you don't have to blast yourself out. You can get kind of close to the speakers. You can angle the guitar in different ways, just sustaining notes, and it will definitely feedback. Another option is like a pedal. some sort of guitar effects pedal that's basically delay pedals offer this the most, because it's like a little feedback loop that gets created. It'll grab a section and then do a feedback loop, just like on, you know, a tape echo, a space echo, you know, Roland space echo, like the 201 or whatever it is. That thing will do the same thing, but this is like a pedal version. The one I own is by Caroline Guitar Company. This is not a paid ad. I'm not sponsored by them. It's just the one I use when I play live, and it's on my pedal board, so I'm talking about it. It's one of my favorite pedals. Caroline Guitar Company. It's called the Meteor or Meteore. You know, it's got a bunch of dots and lines over stuff, so I don't know how to pronounce it, but Meteor, Meteore, whatever it's called. Very awesome. You hit a note, you hold down one of the buttons on it, and it'll just create a feedback loop that just gets louder and louder and louder. Very sick. So these are different ways to really control feedback and give you excitement that's similar to what's going on there. That Blue Album was produced by Rick Ocasek, from the Cars, and Chris Shaw engineered and mixed it, and that was his breakout. Once he did that, he became an official producer, because the work he did there was so amazing. It's undeniable, and people started asking for the dude everywhere. And he's done so many amazing things, but that album will always have a place in my heart. So let me know what albums have a place in your heart. I'm curious what kind of gave you these same sort of feelings when you were listening to music, and what made you decide you wanted to record music. I'm just curious. Throw in the comments, all right? Hope you dug the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. My name's Evan Jaffe. This is Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy.